Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru-Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. परस्याः प्रकृतेरनादिम् एकं निविष्टं बहुधा गुहासु सर्वालयं सर्वचराचरस्थं त्वामिव विष्णुं शरणं प्रपद्ये आत्माम्बुराशौ निखिलोऽपि लोकः मग्नोऽपि नाचामति नेक्षते च आश्चर्यमेतन्मृगतृष्णिकाभे भवाम्बुराशौ रमते मृषैव गर्भगृहवाससम्भव जन्म जरा मरण विप्रयोगाब्धौ जगदालोक्य निमग्नं प्राह गुरुं प्राञ्जलिः शिष्यः त्वं साङ्गवेद वेत्ता भेत्ता संशयस्य ऋतवक्ता संसारार्णवतरणप्रश्नं पृच्छाम्यहं भगवन् दीर्घेऽस्मिन् संसारे संसरतः कस्य केन सम्बन्धः कर्म शुभाशुभफलदम् अनुभवति नु गतागतैरिह कः। दीर्घेऽस्मिन् संसारे संसरतः कस्य केन सम्बन्धः. So already the Shishya here says samsara arnava taranam prashnam prichami. He already said that to the Guru that I am going to ask you the question about crossing this samsara. Now the Shishya is describing his understanding of samsara itself, so that the Guru knows that the Shishya has done whatever analysis of this objective world and he has arrived at a certain conclusion that he has understood the fundamental problem should be known to the Guru. Then only the Vedanta will be useful. So, Pariksha Lokan Karma Chitan Nasti Akritaha Kritena Nirvedamaya Dhamanaha. So, that part, having analyzed the world, that I have come to the conclusion that moksha is the Paramapurushartha. Moksha is the only thing I really want. I want freedom from all limitations. Therefore, I am asking this question, how to cross all my limitations, because samsara itself is a life of limitation, a life of becoming. Any life of becoming implies that you are a wanting person, you are a limited person, and you want to free yourself from all limitations. So he is now explaining the samsara itself. Dirkhes means samsare. So the word samsara itself comes from the Vyutpatti samyak sarati iti samsaraha. So one travels very well, it seems. Okay, from one thing to another to another to another. You keep on going from one thing to another. That is samyak sarati, really. Correct? So that is what we call a life of becoming. You are not happy being who you are, so you have to become something else. That is the crux of the matter here. And how long is this happening means it is anadi. You cannot say, you cannot give a date or a beginning for all these things. Dirkhes means samsara, that's why he says. In this samsara, which is dirgha, here means dirgha means a long time. So you don't know when it started. That means that anadi kala pravritti is there. Because the when did anybody's ignorance start, if I ask you, nobody can say when the ignorance has started, correct? When did you know something? If I ask, you can tell. So if you don't know Chinese, and if I ask you when did the Chinese ignorance start, there is no date or time for that, correct? Ignorance always is there. That's why we say ignorance is anadi. But it comes to an end once you have knowledge. So like this samsara itself is due to ignorance, self-ignorance, not knowing oneself, not knowing the truth of oneself and the world also. Okay? Because subject and object, this reality is there. But what is the real reality of the subject-object division? That one doesn't know, and it has not started at any point in time. Correct? That's why it is dirgha. Dirghes means samsara. Asmin, in this samsara, which is dirgha, samsarataha. Who is the one? Kasya kena sambandha. So the one who is going in this samsara, correct? Samsarataha means one who is going actually in this. And for him, with whom and why is this happening, this samsara? Because without getting connected to something, correct? Or what is the reason that I am going like this from one thing to another? What is the reason for this life of becoming? It is the question here. So who is really going and what and why this person is going, correct? So what is the connection between all these things? And in fact, typically if you ask why somebody is going from one thing to another, means because you do karma. One of the things which everybody thinks will solve their problems is that I have to do something and gain something or reach somewhere or change myself in some way. All these things, correct? For that, what is the upaya? What is the means? Means in general, people think the means is doing activity. The results of action, whatever it may be, whether you gain something newly, whether you reach somewhere, or whether you modify yourself, you purify yourself, etc. Correct? Results of karma are only four categories we say in general. Either you create something new, you do srishti, or you reach somewhere, Mukti is there. So you want to go from Chennai to Mumbai, you can do different kinds of karma for that. Or there is samskaryam, we say. Something is dirty, like your every day, in fact, your house becomes dirty, you have to clean it. Or you are using a panchapatra to do sandhya vandanam, means it after a couple of days it changes its color, you have to clean it, correct, to make it again shining. That is samskarya or vikarya also. Or you modify something. For that also you have to do karma. You have milk but you want to eat curd, means you can do vikara there. So like this karma has only four categories of results. But none of this can really give me the limitless, correct? Because karma itself being limited, the results of action are also limited. This is the main thing we have to understand. But the karma phala you gain, and it can be shubha or ashubha. That's what karma, shubha shubha paladam anubhavati. So by what is the connection and who is the one who is enjoying all this karma phala? And what is the connection for that person with this karma phala is the question here, correct? Kena sambandhaha sya also. So this karma will give you results. But the important thing in our Vaidika tradition is what? The results, the phala is twofold. This is the important thing for us. Normally, everybody accepts that karma gives you drishta phalam. Means you do some action, immediately you see the result, correct? Immediately. Or sometimes it is delayed a little bit, that's fine. In time, you see the result. Now, that result which you can experience is what is called drishta phalam. Okay, it is driftam, it is seen or it is experienced directly by you. And always this karma is determined based on the phala itself, correct? Based on the prayojanam only, you do a particular karma. If you want to go to Mumbai from Chennai, you have to take a train or a flight or a bus or whatever, or even you can start walking, but at least you should go in the right direction, correct? So, if you want to go to Mumbai, you should not start digging under your feet in Chennai. You will never reach Mumbai, correct? That's not the right karma. So, any karma is determined by the phala or the prayojana. That's why in the tradition we say prayojanam anuddishya mando api na pravartate. Even a manda, a person who is not very bright, does not engage in activity without thinking about what he is going to gain from that activity, correct? What is the result of the action? So this is what we call sadhana and sadhya. First, you have to be clear about the sadhya or the ends, what you want to achieve. Then for that, you choose a means, a particular sadhana. Of course, that is karma normally for people, particularly if you want to accomplish something which is not already accomplished. For accomplishing the unaccomplished, karma is the means. The exact karma varies, okay, based on the results of the action. And whether you get that result or not is another problem, correct? The drishta phalam only I am talking about now. The drishta phalam, whether you will get or not, there is no guarantee for anybody. So even there we can classify it in four ways, correct? Based on the expected result, if you get whatever you expect, then you are okay. You are happy with that. But sometimes you get more than what you expected. That is also there, correct? In our experience, you put some effort, fine, but you got more than even what you expected. Then you are ecstatic, you are jumping up and down, and many times you get less than what you expected. You are you are not very happy. You accept it grudgingly, let us say, but sometimes it can be totally something opposite of. Okay, instead of gain, you lose. Even the principle itself is gone. At least, so you expected some return, correct? If you get the expected return, you are happy. Sometimes it is bumper. You get so much return that you are ecstatic. Sometimes you are at least you get lesser return than what you expected or whatever. At least the principal you got back, whatever you invested. But sometimes you lost the principal itself, or you even have accumulated loss, which is actually reducing your existing whatever savings and whatever holdings you had, correct? So, like this, the results of action can be fourfold again, depending on your expectation. That means the action alone is not the only variable which determines the result for anybody, correct? This is true for even the most powerful person in the world. Nobody can predict the result of the action will be this alone. There are too many variables. Even if you account for all the known variables, there are always unknowns. There are known unknowns, there are unknown unknowns also. That is what risk management and all we do in every project. Okay. And you have some mitigation plan and all that, but even then it is very difficult. Sometimes you can't mitigate all the risks. So that is there. So now what is all these unknown unknowns and all we say? In this, our Vaidika tradition introduces an important unknown. Okay, what is that important unknown? We say that is the adrishta phalam. Okay, so there is not only drishta phalam for every action, there is also adrishta. Now, adrishta is generally translated as luck in English, which is wrong. Okay. Luck means it is purely chance, probability, or whatever. Here, adrishta literally means unseen, correct? In every Indian language, we know the meaning of drishta and adrishta. Drishta means that you experience, which you can see. Adrishta means literally unknown, correct? Unseen, but it is there. Because the Veda is revealing this to us, and we are as Shraddhavan, as those who have Shraddha, we accept the Veda as a valid means of knowledge. And if the Veda says there is an Adrishta Phala also for every karma, then we have to accept that. Okay, what is this Adrishta Phala? And why it is there? On what basis this Adrishta Phala accumulates? Means we say it is not enough that you do some action, but whether it is the right thing to do or not in a situation. There is also right and wrong. Typically, action is driven by what you like and what you dislike. Correct? That is one part of human psychology. The human psychology itself is very simple. One side is your likes and dislikes, raga, dvesha. What is raga? If you think without something I cannot be happy, that is raga. Then what is dvesha? Means if you think that if something is there you cannot be happy, then it is dvesha. So whatever you want to gain, without which you cannot be happy, for that you are longing, you have a like, you have a binding like towards that, we can say. Similarly, without getting rid of something, if you cannot be happy, then you have dvesha towards that, you have hatred or whatever, dislike. There is a binding dislike there. No, this raga dvesha is there for everybody. In fact, that defines who you are also as a person. But it is not same for everybody. But everybody also senses what is right and wrong in this world. In fact, it need not be even taught to you. You pick it up as you grow, as the child starts understanding that I have my likes and dislikes. Similarly, others also have their likes and dislikes. Correct? It takes some time for the child to understand, because initially when the child grows, it only understands I, mine, myself, etc. Even to come to that ego understanding, it takes some time, 2 years, they say, I think. From the age of 2, 3, I, mine, etc. is clear. But to know even others are also similarly having their own ego and their own likes and dislikes, it takes some more time. But once you come to an age where you are understanding your own likes and dislikes and others also have the same thing, that itself gives a common matrix of values for us, a basis for the common values. How? Because certain things are universally liked and disliked, correct? You don't want anybody to hurt you, let us say. I don't want to be hurt by anybody. Others also don't want to be hurt, that you know. See, from this we know that I should not hurt anybody. Ahimsa. I don't want anybody to lie to me, deceive me, cheat me. Others also want the same thing. I know that. So I have to speak the truth. Like this is what they call golden rule and all that. Okay. And this you sense. Nobody need to even teach you. This Samanya Dharma, that's why it is called. Or it is supposed to be common sense. Okay. Commonly sensed values is Samanya Dharma. This Samanya Dharma, everybody is at least normal, those who have had a normal growth, physical and psychological and intellectual growth, normal growth is there. They should be able to sense this automatically. And that forms the basis for your activities. Whatever actions you choose should be in keeping with Samanya Dharma to start with. But let us say, even though you sense this Samanya Dharma and you know what is right and wrong based on the Samanya Dharma, if your likes and dislikes overpower you to an extent that you are ready to do something wrong, you knowingly do wrong, correct? That's why nobody can claim ignorance as a defense. Understand that. Ignorance of the law is not a defense, even for man made laws. So, if we come to the man made laws may not be automatically sense, but still you are supposed to know it. Ignorance is not a defense in a court of law. And man made laws are all you can call Vishesha Dharma, correct? They are all specific to a Desha and Kala. Whatever is specific to a Desha Kala for a particular place and time, they are all what we call Vishesha Dharma. Vishesha Dharma also one picks up, one is supposed to pick up. And some more Vishesha Dharma is what based on the roles you are playing. And the roles you play again varies depending on the whichever stage of life you are in. Because as a brahmachari, as a student when you are growing up, you are playing the role of a student, correct? Initially, when the child grows, means that role has a certain duty. Role based duties are there. And whatever is your duty, you have to do. That is the right thing to do, correct? And if you don't do it, then it becomes wrong. And if you don't do it, you will do something other than your duty, which is wrong. You will be doing the wrong thing, really. Because nobody can be without doing anything, correct? Even that also Bhagavan says in the Gita, third chapter also. This Prakriti will force you to do, your nature will force you to do something or the other. And that means if you don't do the right thing, you will end up doing the wrong thing and you have to face the music. Now, in this, if you do the wrong thing, also there is a Drishtapalam for that. What is the Drishtapalam? If others come to know of it, then they are going to react to that. Okay, that itself is a problem. Whether it is other people or whether it is police or whatever the state, then you may be punished. You may have to face the reaction of others. That itself is a problem. But even if you manage to do something and nobody else finds it out, you still have fear. What if others find? And you have guilt also because you have known that you have done something wrong. You know, at least if others don't know also, you always know what is right and wrong, and still you have done something wrong. You also have guilt. So this is also Drishtapala. So whenever you do something wrong, guilt, fear, Drishtapala is there. But our Veda says not only guilt and fear, etc., or whatever, but you have also gained something. Whatever you liked, you gained, let us say, even by doing wrong. But then there is also something called Papa. If you do the wrong thing, in your account, Papa is getting accumulated. Similarly, if you do the right thing, even though you got less than what you expected, Drishtapala may be bad, but Adrishta is good. You gain Punya. So now by accumulating this Punya and Papa, what happens? Means it will fructify later as either pleasant or unpleasant experience. This is what the Veda is telling you, correct? Punya will fructify as pleasant experience. Papa will fructify as unpleasant experience. Now you don't ask me for proof. What is the proof? Can I put a microscope and see that this Punya Papa is sticking on me? Means that's how, that's not how knowledge takes place. Understand that? If you accept the Veda as a means of knowledge, Whatever Veda reveals can neither be proved nor be disproved by any other pramana, whether it is sense perception or inference. So, if you are a person with Shraddha, you have to accept whatever the Veda is revealing here. But what you can look at is whether it goes along with my life experience or not. It should not be against my anubhava, correct? So, what is my anubhava? Like I already said, the results of your action are fourfold based on your expectation. That means your effort alone is not the factor, not the only factor which determines the output of any action. There are unknown unknowns. And in that, I can fit in this papa and punya. Correct? The unknown unknowns is where I can fit in this papa punya and it goes along with my anubhava. Correct? It even gives some explanation to why I got whatever I got, whether I got more than I expected, whether I got less than I expected, or sometimes we say prabala prarabdha means what? So the prarabdha, the whatever the karma, the punya and papa which is started fructifying is so powerful that it may either magnify your effort to such an extent that you get like a windfall, or whatever you do, you will not be able to achieve what you wanted. It is also there. So another analogy, if we have to give for understanding karma, is that this karma is like the current in a river, correct? That is a given already. And you are swimming in that river, depending on where you want to go, that current can either help you if you want to go, if your goal, if your sadhya is to go downstream, then it is going to help you. You don't even have to do anything. You just float, it will take you wherever you want, let us say. But the sadhya is upstream, means you have to put Herculean effort. Sometimes you swim a lot and you are in the same place and you are complaining. But if you did not put in all that effort, you won't be even there in the same place, correct? You would have gone downstream. So it's not that your efforts don't have any result or any effect on the result. It also depends on what Papa Punya is rectifying. And another implication of this Papa Punya is whatever Papa Punya I collect in this life may not exhaust everything, it will not exhaust in this life. Okay. That means some carry forward will be there, like in any accounting, the balance is carried forward to the next financial year, correct? Credit, debit, whatever it is. Like that, if it is carried forward, it has to be, it is now there in the accumulated account. Again, from there, you have to start another life. So our belief is that this life, whatever I am having itself, is due to some karma, correct? Some bundle of karma has started this life. It has given me this parentage, it has given me this body. All this is given, correct? I did not choose my parents, neither they chose me, in fact. So, none of these things I chose, where I was born, even your childhood and all that, it is given to you. That means it is your own karma. There is no other way to explain it, correct? Otherwise, the world is so unjust. If you want to understand karma, I think Kanchi Paramacharya said this to somebody. You go to a hospital one day and see all the babies which are born. Some babies are welcomed like anything and they are having festivities. Some babies are, they arrive but nobody is there to care. Even the mother looks at the baby with disdain, let us say. All this is happening, and some baby is born with a golden spoon. There's not even a wooden spoon for the other baby. So then how do you account for all these things? Without karma, we cannot account for all this. Here the word karma means karma phala, which is papa and punya, correct? Karma, the word can be used for action or results of action. And in our tradition, most famously, the word karma is used for the results of action which cannot be seen. The adrishta is called karma here. Understand? Adrishta karma or adrishta karma phala, the papa punya only starts this life. Depending on whether punya is more or papa is more, even my birth itself can vary. So, this punya papa determines my birth and also many other things in my life. But my effort also is there. That's why no astrologer can be 100% perfect. Understand that. In fact, astrology or Jyotisha also is dependent on karma, papa punya. Because really understand this, there is a pattern, correct, of how the different heavenly bodies move and what was their position when you were born. Also, you can see that in the chart. So when you are born, these heavenly bodies. In fact, we should not call it planet. Planet is a wrong translation again because sun is not a planet, moon is not a planet, Rahu, Ketu are even shadows, really speaking. So Graha does not mean planet really. Some of them are only planets in that. Graha means heavenly bodies. Even in that Rahu, Ketu are shadows really. We have to account for them. Still, you can account for them as heavenly phenomenon. So these where they were when you were born and then how they are moving based on this. Jyotisha is actually having a correlation with your prarabdha. Understand that whatever karma which has started this life, the Jyotisha is seeing your life through the karma which has started fructifying in this life. And based on that, the Jyotishi is saying this is a good time for you because punya is going to fructify. But this is a bad time for you because predominantly papa will fructify. But the beauty is, since it is prarabdha, it can also be rectified. That is why the Jyotishis always they give you some prayaschitta, correct? So you can understand prayaschitta very well now because in this time of war and all that, the prarabdha is like the missile which has already left, correct? If you don't do anything, the missile will go and hit something and give you problems, but you still have something which you can do, correct? That's why you have missile defense and all that. You send another missile intercepting. That is the prayaschitta karma. Now, when some people complain after doing prayaschitta, nothing happened. In fact, the prayaschitta is done so that nothing should happen. Understand that. Of course, in some cases, the prayaschitta also improves your situation in life and all that, which we have seen also. It's not that doesn't happen. So, the prayaschitta only the Jyotishi gives, and that is also based on this karma phala only. Shubha, Shubha, phala. Because the Jyotishi is predicting based on your charts and the whatever the movement of the heavenly bodies, the gochara we say, correct? Whether punya or papa is going to fructify, they can even predict it very. If they do a lot of calculations, they can actually predict it in every muhurta in the day also, whether it is punya pradhana, papa pradhana, and all, they can predict. I don't think they have the correct data for it, or they don't go to that details, that extent of details. But if it can be done, maybe with big data and machine learning and all that, even Jyotisha can become more accurate going forward. We don't know. But it is amazing what correlation they have found. See, in all these things, some people talk as though causation is there. There need not be causation for Jyotisha to be valid. Understand that. Some people think as though really the planet is affecting you and all that. If you present like that, then modern scientists also have a problem with that. We don't have to even talk about causation. Correlation is good enough. How it is correlated, we don't know really. In fact, that is why it is Aarsha. It's Veda Pramana again, correct? You don't know, but we can see correlation is there, is good enough. Whether what kind of causation is there, we don't know really. Okay. But based on the correlation, we are able to take some action. We are able to do prayaschitta. So, maybe prayaschitta, prayer are only to take care of the adrishta, to take care of other things. Drishta effort is there, correct? Your normal effort, karma you are doing for some result, that is there. But along with that, we also do prayers. This way, a Hindu's life is always a prayerful life. You do everything prayerfully. You get up, then Agre Vasate Lakshmi, Karamadhye Saraswati, Karamule Sthita Gauri. Like that, we start in the day. Samudravasane Devi, Parvatastana Mandale, Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam, Sparsham Kshamaswame. You start with asking forgiveness to step on the bhumi also, because everything is divine for us. Bhagavan has manifested as this entire world. Everything is divine. Bhagavan is there right in your hands. Bhagavan is the one who is functioning as Devata, Adhisthana Devata of each and every organ. Organs are functioning in your body not because of your will or your knowledge or anything. In spite of all that, everything is functioning in your body itself is a great miracle. It's because it is all Bhagavat Vibhuti. The glory of Bhagavan is because of that only your body is functioning, everything is functioning, natural phenomena are happening. So, we do everything prayerfully with this understanding and with gratitude also. So, if we lead a life of gratitude and prayer, that is the best and happy life you can lead, correct? If you don't have gratitude for what is given to you and if you don't recognize the giver, then you are always perpetually complaining. Victimhood and all these things only will be there in life. There cannot be any happiness in such a life, correct? So, this recognition of karma and also that everything is given to you. In fact, who chooses the prarabdha karma for us to have this particular life? That's where Bhagavan also comes. That's why we say we look upon Bhagavan as karma pala data. So when we say shubha shubha paladam, that who is the one who is giving that? Paladaha. Karma itself cannot give. In fact, even in Vaidika tradition, there is a Purva Mimamsaka. They say karma will give you phala. There is no need of Ishvara. But if karma has to give phala, it has to give immediately, correct? But Vaidika karma and all, it is not like that. See, when we talk about sadhana sadhya, I already said that sadhya can be known sadhya, which can be reached in this life. But many sadhya are end to be reached is unknown also, like heaven, swarga. So how are you going to know that you will go to swarga? Even if you do the karma now, Vaidika karma now, you are going to reach the swarga after the fall of this body. Then how this karma can give the result later on? Means the Purva Mimamsaka is proposing something called Apurva. He says, when you do the karma, this Apurva gets created, and then this Apurva itself will give you the phala for punya or papa later on, when it later on fructifies. But there is no basis for proposing this Apurva in Veda. That's what Bhashyakara points out, in fact, in the Brihadaranyaka Bhashya. So, but the Veda is talking about Ishvara as a karma adhyaksha. So one under whom all this karma is functioning. karma phala data is Ishvara for us. So even when we say Shubha Shubha Phaladam here, of course it is an adjective to this karma. But even there, the karma itself is chosen to be exhausted in this life by whom means Ishvara alone comes there. So the Shubha Shubha Paladam is really Ishvara for us. Karma Paladata. That's why Bhagavan in the Gita says, Karmanyeva adhikaraste. You have adhikara to do karma. You are qualified to do karma, but you are not qualified to determine the result. The result of action only Bhagavan gives to you, and that is an important understanding one should have. And here also I said that already, the implication of accepting karma, papa punya, is that you will also have another life, another life, another life, and you have also had countless previous lives also. Correct? So that is what is said here also. Gata gataihi inakaha is asking. Who has come here in this body, and where will I go again after this body is gone? Who is going also? Who has come in this body, and after this body is gone, who is going to another body, to another body, another body, different bodies? One has to go. Means these are all the questions you have as a jiva, as an individual. So he is asking all these questions. Kasya kena kaha. These are all part of these questions. Okay, by understanding this, I would like to cross over this samsara. That is the implication. Okay. Next verse is what? Karma guna jala baddhaha jivaha samsarati koshakara iva mohandhakara gahanattasya katham bandhanat mokshaha. Okay, the bandha has been defined already, correct? In a manner that I am actually living a life, but that life itself is not determined by me. It is due to the karma phala which has already started. It is also dependent on karma which I am doing, and I am really governed by laws which are not my laws also. Okay, all these laws, this order which is there in the Srishti. So I am governed by all that, means I am now bound by this karma and guna jala, it is said. Karma and guna, like if jala here is like a net, or even you can say a web of spider. See, in any net there are vertical, horizontal, correct? Yarns are going, fibers are going. That's how the net is formed. So here karma is one, guna is another. This guna can be taken in two ways, I think. One is, of course, sattva, rajas, tamas. Because when we look at this entire creation, we say that it is all coming from one prakriti, one nature, okay, one cause. The material cause, or the upadana karana, or even I have to say proximate cause. Material cause is a problematic word in English, I think. So better to say whatever this world is made up of, that cause, okay? That cause, we say, is only one, but it is having uh, many constituents, we have to call it. Understand? The word guna again, in general, is translated as quality, which is fine. That quality definition is based on the Nayayika understanding of guna. They say that there are 24 gunas and all that. But in Sankhya, guna is used as a constituent. The meaning is not quality. If it is quality, then you will get confused. So the sattva, rajas, tamas are constituents of prakriti. The prakriti, or the one cause of this entire srishti, is constituted of three different things, which is sattva, rajas, and tamas, and their effect is there, and all they are actually When they are in equilibrium, there is no creation. But when the equilibrium is disturbed, then any one constituent becomes more, another becomes less, and all that. And because of that, the whole Srishti starts. And within Srishti also, the different, whatever the qualities of the different substances and things are dependent on whether sattva is more, rajas is more, tamas is more, etc. Based on that, we can categorize them. So this guna only makes up this entire objective world, and in that how you interact, whether you get whatever you like or not, etc., is determined by karma. So you can say that they are the two webs, because the guna only makes up this entire srishti where you are experiencing things, correct? So the sattva rajas tamas makes up the world, the objective world. But in that, what you exactly experience, and what you experience is something which is likable, dislikable, etc., is determined by the karma. These two have to be there together for you to experience anything, correct? The objective world has to be there, and subjectively, I have to also experience something which I like or dislike. So these two things together have to be there, and they form the web or the net in which you are bound, because you are bound by your own experiences, because your experiences are either pleasant or unpleasant, and you are bound in them as an individual jivaha, and then you are having samsara in that. You are having a life of becoming, you are going from one thing to another, and you are not able to come out of it. That is given by this another analogy of koshakaraha. So the koshakara again can be taken in two ways. It can be taken as the butterfly has a pupa stage, correct? Initially it is caterpillar, then the caterpillar spins a web around itself and stays within bound. So that is the pupa. Pupa is the is there, and within that whatever the caterpillar is now bound, is not able to come out easily. And it also tells that you are bound by your own karma also. That way also you can take it. You are bound by your own self ignorance and your own karma. It is of your own making. That way also you can look at it, the Koshakara. Or even the commentator takes this Koshakara as a spider. The spider is bound within its own web, it seems. It creates a web and then it stays within that itself. Correct? It is bound by its own web. That way also you can take, whether you take it as a pupa or you take it as a spider, both are bound in their own webs which they have created around them, and you are going in that. That's how the jiva and the life of jiva is described here. And from this, again, what is the problem? It is mohandhakara gahanat tasya katham bandhanat moksha. So how I can become free from this? Because this looks like particularly if you take the pupa, it is bound inside. Even light is not coming. It is very dark, and you are deluded also in this darkness. So there is darkness and delusion, and it is dense, gahana. So not normal darkness also. It is it is pitch dark, let us say. You don't know where to go. You can't even determine the directions. That is how you feel as a jiva. You don't know where you are going to get relief, what to do. So such a problem is there. So how am I going to free myself from this? Katham bandhanat moksha. How will I get moksha, freedom from this. This is my problem. I am bound. I am deluded. I am in darkness. And I don't know how I can free myself. So only you have to help, Guru. Okay. That is the question here. And further we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
धन्यवाद जी.
धन्यवाद.